Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Robin, or A Hobbit's Reading List. This week on my reading vlog, we are going to Chicago at least twice, possibly going to a bookstore, and also Super Bowl, which I'm not a huge football person. I like football more than other ball-related sports, but neither team that is playing or is really a huge draw for me, so I'll probably be reading during the Super Bowl. So let's see how many books I can buzz through this week. Good evening. I got off work a little early tonight, so came home. The internet is down because it's been going down, and so Chris went and exchanged the modem. But it means that I'm home without internet until he gets home, which is actually fine because I told myself I was going to read once I got home, and I was listening to The Glass Ocean on my way home, and it got to sort of like the climax, and I didn't want to stop. So as soon as I got home, I picked up my physical copy and I just went ahead and finished it. So for those of you who have not seen last week's vlog, The Glass Ocean is about the sinking of the Lusitania on its way to Ireland. And it follows three perspectives, one of which is set in 2013. Sarah is a historian who is doing research on Lusitania because her great-grandfather was a steward on the ship. And she believes Reese is, oh, you okay? Reese is being clingy and he almost fell. She believes that she's found something that hints at another passenger on the ship, Robert Langford, committing treason, pretty much, or being a spy or something. So she goes to England to convince his descendant, John, to let her look at, the family papers and find out what was really happening. So they do that. They work together, do the research, end up having feels for each other, and thought that was really good. Sorry, Reese makes this a little difficult. The second perspective is of a first-class passenger, Carolyn Hochstetter, who is feeling distant from her husband Gilbert, and they have this rare piece of music that they're going to sell to someone in Britain, but Caroline is hoping to use the voyage to reconnect with her husband. She's also very good friends with Robert, and so we see a lot of their interactions. And the third perspective is a second-class passenger named Tess, who has pretty much been raised by her older sister, and they are both con women. Tess is very talented at forgeries, and so their job is to steal and or copy the rare piece of music that Caroline has. And Tess also becomes close with Robert. They sort of just keep running into each other, and they have a connection. So that's the background. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really great. I've been in a historical fiction sort of mood, so I think it hit me at the right time. This is a book that I got when I was in South Carolina last year, and I was looking through the sort of like interview with the authors, because there's three of them. I was reading the interview at the back of the book, and they actually mention going to Polly's Island, and that's where they sort of agreed on how they were going to like work together, and Polly's Island is where I was, and so I thought that was really cute. But no, the book itself, I really liked the story. I thought it was really interesting. I learned about, a piece of history that I had not really had exposure to before. Before I read this book, I had no idea that the Lusitania was even a thing. And it's actually, like, a really important thing. Like, it's the sinking of the Lusitania, which, by the way, was because they got hit by a torpedo by the Germans in World War I in 1915. And that sort of helped push America to join the First World War. And so it had a lot of repercussions. And obviously, like, the perspectives that we got are fictional, but I appreciated sort of learning more about this aspect of history, because I did look into, you know, the some of the real events, and not a lot. I would like to do more research on it, but I just thought it was really cool. I thought the different perspectives made a lot of sense. I liked how the relationships grew. I just thought it was really good. And so after all this, you might be thinking, Robin, this has to be your first 5-star of the year. So close. It's a 4.5. I think it's hilarious that the last 4 books I've read have been 4.5. I don't know why I can't give it a 5-star. I really enjoyed it. I really did. I think it was, again, sort of like with Stolen Songbird from last week, I think it was the logic. You know, in this one, the logic, I ended up giving it a 7, which was the lowest score that I gave in the entire compile. And for those of you who don't know, compile is the rating system that I use, that was developed by Book Roast to have a more objective rating system. And so it's characters, atmosphere, writing, plot, intrigue, logic, enjoyment. Those are the categories. So in logic, it got a 7 because I felt like some of the decisions, mainly by Caroline, I would say, like, last week I said that I was nervous with the 3 different perspectives because typically there's one I like least. And that's certainly the case. I think that's natural, but usually I end up, like, actively hating one of them. That wasn't the case this time, but, like, Caroline I did not like as much as Sarah and Tess. Because I just felt like she was too wishy-washy through part of it when it came to, like, what she wanted. And then all of a sudden, she's like, I've decided. And I'm like, why did you go through 100 pages of fucking flip-flopping? And now, all of a sudden, you're like, yep, this is it, just because some guy, whatever. It sort of bugged me. I'm not too mad about it, though, because I got the ending that I wanted. So, but yeah, I think the logic a little bit towards the end, because of Caroline, it ended up getting 4.5. And I'm kind of disappointed because, I don't know. I mean, I know 5 stars are rare, but just a little upsetting I haven't read a 5-star yet. But hey, I read four books back to back that were 4.5, so that's pretty good. So that's my little update. Check out The Glass Ocean. I thought it was great, especially if you love historical fiction. If you like water and ships like I do, check it out. And now I guess I'm going to read the complete Kama Sutra because I need to get caught up on that. So I'll check in with you guys later. Good evening. Fashion is being very needy right now. But I finished reading Check Please, which is not surprising. It's a graphic novel. I went through it pretty quickly. I really liked it. I thought that, first off, Biddy is just the cutest little guy ever. So for people who don't know, Check Please is a graphic novel. I believe it started as a webcomic, and it's about this guy named Eric Biddle, who was a like junior champion figure skater, and he did club hockey, and he applied at Samwell University to play on their hockey team, and he got in. And it's just about him and his relationships with his teammates. One in particular, Jack, the captain, who Biddy ends up developing feelings for, and it's just really cute. Like, it's a very cozy sort of read. Like, there's not really much drama at all. Like, there's some like little things, but they don't last long. So I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it a 4.5, which means I looked at my call pile for the year, for the past month and change. All but 2 of my reads are above 4 stars. Most of them are 4.5s. And the 2 that aren't are like 3.5. So I find that really funny. So this is the 5th book in a row that's a 4.5, which like is great. I'm not reading like crappy books, but it also means that I don't know, maybe I'm being too liberal with the 4.5s. But the reason it wasn't a 5-star was because of the pacing. Like, I felt like there were just too big of time jumps. I would have liked it a little slower, quite honestly. But that's just me, I think. So I really liked it. I thought it was really cute. I might try and see if I can find the rest of it online, because I can't go to Barnes & Noble right now. It's too late. Otherwise, I would go get the 2nd volume. So I think I might try to read it online and pick up the 2nd volume some point in the future. What else? I haven't really done much today. I was putting away holiday decorations this morning because, yes, I waited till February. And as I was putting away, we keep them in totes in like a shelving thing in our garage, and that tote went on the top shelf, and I thought I could do it, and I did, but only after I dropped the tote on my head. So I've been dealing with some like neck pain, and that's really sucked. So I'm really glad I picked up Check Please, because it's pretty easy read. Don't have to think too much. So I can focus on the pain that I'm in. No, it's not that bad, really. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. That's sort of my plan. I will really have to read the Complete Kama Sutra on Thursday. Like, I really have to resume that if I have any hope of actually finishing it. So Thursday will be devoted to that. And I'm going to listen to The Leather Couch tomorrow. And I honestly, like, I should be able to finish it, because I'm going to a bris tomorrow morning before work. And so it's an hour to temple, an hour from temple to work, and then an hour and a half from work to home. And I only have 4 hours-ish in the audiobook. So I should quite honestly be able to finish it tomorrow. So I'm on a roll. I'm feeling really good. But we'll see what actually happens. Hey everyone. I'm a little early for the bris, so I thought I would just film a quick update. So last night I did continue reading the 2nd volume of Check Please. I'm almost done with it. I read most of it last night before Chris got home. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's probably going to be, honestly, I'm predicting a 5-star. I liked it more than the first one because of just how to me it felt more, the pacing was better, I think. I wasn't as bothered by like the time jumps, and I like how the relationship was developed. So I'm predicting it to be a 5-star. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Other than that, I listened to another hour of The Leather Couch. I'm still predicting that I'll finish it tonight. So this might turn into a vlog of me reading and finishing like 6 books in 1 week or something, because I'm on a roll. So that's just a little update. I'll give more information and probably my rating for the second volume of Check Please in a couple hours. We have a 5-star read. Finally. I finished the second volume of Check Please, which is called Sticks and Stones, or Sticks and Scones. And I just put it through Compile, and because I enjoyed it more, and I thought the pacing was better, and because the pacing is better, I thought the logic was better, so therefore it is a 5-star read. I highly recommend it. And that isn't to say that the first volume of Check Please isn't good. It is. Like, it really is. It's a 4.5 out of 5. Like, that's amazing. It was just I needed a little bit more, and I got that in volume 2. So I'm really happy about that. I have another little bit of time before I have to start working. And so I brought the Complete Kama Sutra with me. So I will probably try to read that for the next little bit and try to make more progress with that because I need to. And I looked, and it doesn't look like I will be able to finish the leather couch tonight because I have 2.5 hours left and my drive is only like an hour and 20 minutes. So I will be finishing that probably Friday morning. So there we go. Also, this is how many books in a row finished? 4? Maybe? So I think I'm doing pretty great. Making a lot of progress on February TBR. So yay me. I just wanted to do a quick update. I've read 2 more chapters of the Complete Kama Sutra. I'm going to try to read another one. Pretty much I'm not planning on like stopping reading until I get caught up to where I should be, which is pretty much like 20 pages a day. So I should be at 180, and I think I just passed 100. So I will continue reading it tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be caught up by Saturday and I can pick up another book and then just continue the 20 pages a day. But we'll see. The first part of the Complete Kama Sutra is a lot of, I don't even know how to describe it. I guess it's a lot of background technically on like the different types of knowledge that ancient Indians like subscribed to. I don't know how to describe it. It was a lot about like knowledge and power and ethics and sex. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't find it that interesting. I don't know if it's just the writing style or I just didn't find it that interesting. The second part I just started. I've read 1 chapter of it. It's getting more into like amorous embraces. And it was about the different types of men and women based off of their like genitals, which was really interesting. So yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's gonna be a 5-star, but I think it is really interesting, and I'm interested to see where it goes. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not gonna say that like I'm super enjoying it because I'm not. You know, it's nonfiction. It's written pretty dryly and it repeats itself a lot, and so that's sort of bugging me. I'm not gonna stop reading it, but that's really bugging me, and I don't know if that's how the Kama Sutra is written or just if that's how it was translated. I feel like part of it is that's how it was translated, just because of the format. You can tell like when the translator is offering context, and sometimes he offers context by saying the exact same thing that the source material said. So like that's bugging me a little bit, and I think that's definitely impacting how much I want to read this. But I think overall I'll be happy that I read it, and I think it'll be really interesting. So there's that. I wish I had an exciting update. Unfortunately, today is ending my streak of finishing books in a row, because I finished 4 books in a row, 4 days in a row, but it's not gonna happen tonight. But that's it. That's what I got. So I didn't film really anything today. I was at work, but I did get a good amount of reading done. Bastion wants my attention. I finished listening to The Leather Couch. I don't know how to review nonfiction. Like, it was written well. Hi, buddy. Hi. Okay. It was written well. It was really informative. I learned a lot from it. That's about it. I ended up giving it a 4.5. I thought it was really credible. Stefani Goerlich, the author, cites her sources well. I'm only saying that because that's part of like the credibility part of compile for nonfiction. I thought it was really good. I learned a lot, and I don't know what else to say about it. But for people who don't know, The Leather Couch is how to essentially provide care for people who identify as kinky. I work with within a lot of sex education, and so it's a good book for me to read just so I could help more people and offer them more understanding. Plus I've been reading it since like June or July, so I'm just glad to have it done finally. But other than that, I read about 40 pages of the complete Kama Sutra. I think instead of me trying to like get caught up to where I should be, which today I was supposed to hit like the 200 page mark and I'm only at 145. I think instead of doing that, I'm just gonna redo the math and figure out how many pages I have to read daily until the end of the month, just so that I can actually pick up another one of the books that I'm supposed to read this month, because I just don't think that I'm going to be able to read like 80 pages tomorrow. I will be taking the train to Chicago, so I'll have a lot of time, but I think it's just redoing the math will ultimately work out better for me. So that's about it. That's my update. Let's do some clips of me in Chicago. A very quick update because I am very tired. I went to Chicago for a temple thing, but I decided to take the train because there wasn't good parking where the event was. So taking the train from where I live is an event. Takes almost 2 hours each way. And then the meeting was about 2.5 hours long. So I was just like, I felt like I was just constantly doing things. However, because I took the train, I was able to read a lot. I read 229 pages. 38 of those was the Kama Sutra. And then the rest was When the Angels Left the Old Country, which is really interesting. I'm really enjoying it. I don't have the brain power to describe what it's about. So I will do that tomorrow. But I just want to check in and say that I read today. I read a lot. And I like you guys. That's pretty much about it. I'm really tired, so good night. Good morning. I have to wrap this vlog up. So it's technically Monday. Sorry, I'm switching hands. But I got home from the Super Bowl party last night and I just immediately went to bed because I was so tired. So, I have a lot of reading to go over. First things first, I guess. The Complete Kama Sutra, I didn't read last night, but that's okay because I read more than I technically needed to on Saturday, so that's still fine. I will read it this morning, and that's whatever. It's gotten to the part where, you know, they're talking about different types of embraces and different positions during intercourse. It's interesting. There's a whole chapter on like hitting, and not like spanking, but like actual punches, which was not what I was expecting, and that's fine. It was just surprising. So there's that. Like I mentioned in my last clip, I read about almost 200 pages of When the Angels Left the Old Country. It is about an angel who originally doesn't really have a name, but is eventually given the name Uriel, and that's not a spoiler, it's in the blurb. But it takes a little bit for him to get that name. For it to get that name, I'm sorry. It is its pronoun. Anyway, Uriel has been studying the Talmud with the demon Little Ash, or Ashmedai, for centuries. And the demon is not what you would necessarily think of, like, not the Christian sort of demon. He's more, at the beginning, he was described like similar to like a fairy. So, like, just a mischievous fairy. And who can see, he sees more of like, you know, the sins and stuff of people, and manipulates that a little bit. So, but the important thing to note is that the angel and Little Ash are like really close friends. Like, they really value the other person. And so I think that's really interesting. So anyway, their village is very tiny, but they leave it because they hear about a young woman who has recently gone to America and who might be in trouble. So Little Ash just wants to leave because he hears that America is, you know, paved with gold and stuff, and he's very restless and he wants adventure. Whereas the angel believes it'll be a mitzvah to track down this young woman and help her. And so that's sort of what the story is about. And along the way, they meet different people. They do different things. I don't want to give that much away. I just keep changing positions. I am really enjoying it. It's written in an interesting way. Like, the writing style sometimes feels like it could be in a children's book, but it's obviously talking about things that like a child wouldn't understand. And that's not a bad thing. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. So, and it's very sort of like matter of fact. I am enjoying it. I will say it's probably not my favorite writing style. I tend to prefer things a little more like flowery. But I am enjoying it, and I think I will probably pick it for the next book for my Temple's book club that I'm in charge of. So there's that. Hopefully I can read more of it tomorrow and make some more progress on it, because like I said, like, I think it's really enjoyable. So, and then finally, yesterday I started reading Persuasion by Jane Austen, which is about a woman named Anne Elliot, who is like the middle daughter in the Elliot family. And I didn't know this before I started reading the book. Apparently, like, no one in her family likes her, and it's interesting. And from what I'm gathering, no one likes her because she's not as like vain about her looks as the rest of the family, and hi buddy, hi. She tends to be pretty like soft spoken. and just more compassionate than the rest of her family, and so they don't like her, which is interesting. They like having her around because she makes them feel good, but they don't like her because she's so different from them. Anywho, so about 7 years before the novel took place, Anne had a very brief engagement to a man named Captain Wentworth, but her various family members convinced her that it wasn't a good match, and she ended the engagement. Well, now, in Persuasion, her father is not managing money well, which is a theme that I'm noticing in Jane Austen's work. They pretty much have to like sublet their home in order to like, make money. So this means that most of Anne's family leaves and goes to Bath in like, a smaller home, whatever. Which is good because I don't like that side of the family. And Anne stays behind with her younger sister Mary, who lives nearby. But the people who are letting Anne's house is the sister and the sister's husband of Captain Wentworth. So of course Captain Wentworth comes back, and I just got to the part, because I'm listening to it on audiobook, I just got to the part where Anne and Captain Wentworth have finally seen each other again. And I don't know, the meeting was like disappointing. There wasn't not disappointing like I hated it, but it was just disappointing because there was no sort of like emotional reaction from Captain Wentworth when Anne had a lot of anxiety about how it was going to go. But the end of the chapter sort of switched perspectives briefly to Captain Wentworth and showed that like he does still think about Anne. He's just playing it a little bit cool. So I'm enjoying it. I haven't gotten into it to the point that I got into Pride and Prejudice, but I only listened to it a couple hours, so maybe that'll change. So that's sort of my update. That's a long update, and I'm going to go because I have to start the intro for next week's vlog. Or this week's vlog, I guess. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a pretty busy week. It felt like to me. Maybe it didn't show up in the video, but it felt like to me. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, especially if you read any of the books that I went through this week, because I'd really like to talk to other people about them instead of just myself. Subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And then I will catch you guys in next week's vlog. Bye.